Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. This is my spiritual channel, Valerie Mac, Scottish, spiritual, and very funny, allegedly. If you've been following me a while, thank you very much. And if you're a new listener, I hope you're enjoying. And may I ask you to revert back and listen to my previous podcasts. They're full of wisdom. I sometimes burst into song. I tell you stories from my own life. The intention behind the channel is just to share my own beliefs, stories from my own life, my own past. Hopefully, you'll be able to recognise yourself in some of the stories, because I assume I'm not the only person on planet Earth who has faced different challenges, etc. So I'm just sharing my words in the hope that you find comfort, take action, and find the benefit of my words in your own life. I can only do so much. I know. I'm only human. I'm only human. Oh, please don't. I know. If you take the tools, take the words, and move them into your own life, I could practically guarantee you will find an improvement. You'll find your mind more peaceful. Let resentment, anger, bitterness go. You've been carrying that bag for too many years already. And I'll put the bag down. Now, I started, as I said, a few months ago, told a joke, told a funny story. Now I feel obligated. I know. Every time if I've got to start, I have to give a funny joke, funny story. I know. But there is always a life lesson at the end. Yes, more importantly. So if you're listening, I will do the jokes at the beginning. I will. And I don't even know the jokes, they're just stories. I'll give you that for initially. And if you could kindly, if you just want the humour, you may say bye-bye after the jokes. Ideally, you will listen till the very end because the life lesson is at the end. Now, this evening I will be discussing, it's like mistaken identity. That will make sense in a second, or even in a few minutes. And I'll also be referring to, the trendy thing nowadays, your followers, that type of thing. I'm always saying, have you been following me a while? Please stop, I'm going to get the police, that kind of thing. Now, this is awful, kind of this very modern world that we're living in. Followers, and the other one, influencers. Now, that's a word that people throw in, every day, random. Influencer, they're an influencer. Everyone on earth has the potential of being an influencer because you're potentially influencing people every time you open your mouth to speak. Even doing this channel, if you're listening and I have the potential of influencing your mind in one way or another. If I give you the thoughts, if you agree, if you don't agree, do you know what I mean? No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. I refuse. Harry. I know, can I get rid of it? Now, anyway, on a serious point, influencers and followers, I'll be kind of going there towards the end, and the little life lesson. Please pay attention, use it in your own life, otherwise it's just my words. Although my words are important enough. Now, prior to starting my jokes, there's maybe one or two that you may have heard previously. And the reason I put it back in was a couple of people I was speaking to during the week, and they reminded me, they said they liked a couple of jokes that they but they liked, and it was in their mind. So I put the couple of jokes back in with my new ones. I know. I'm here to please the public. Oh, goodness sake, I know. There was a couple, I'd actually forgotten them, and then they reminded me. I said, okay, I'll put it back in, because I have new listeners who this may be the first time they have heard it. Now, if you've heard it more than once, I can only say it more than once. If you've heard it more than once, could you listen twice? I know. If you've not heard it at all, this will be the first time. This will be once. What is she talking about? I don't know. Neither do I. Now, the first one, keep in mind they're jokes, just light. It's a Friday evening. Do you know all that stuff? Now, she says, light, you're starting off talking about somebody hit with a thing when they're in the hospital. I know. Just realised that. It's very light. Anyway, there's a woman and she's in an accident and she's speaking with God. I know, because skipping a few pages here. She's speaking with God and she thought, this is it. My days are over. And she said to God, oh, is this it? Is this it? As my story has ended here? I know, I'm ad-libbing now. And God said, no, my child, you are still going back to earth. Your time, you have another 20 years, 6 months, 5 days, and 3 minutes on earth. And she said, oh, thank goodness. I thought this was it. Oh, there's things I want to change in my life. I didn't realise I still had 20 years and whatever I just said to you there just now. I know. So she comes back to earth. So she thinks, well, this is it. I'm getting another chance. So I'm going to renew everything in my life. So she goes out and she has a complete makeover. She gets her hair all done. She gets a complete makeup makeover like you've never seen before. Transformation extraordinaire. And she comes out and she walks in front of an ambulance and she's killed. What kind of joke is this? I know, it's not my fault. So she arrives back up in heaven. And she said to God, I thought you told me I had 20 years, 6 months, blah, de blah, de blah, de blah. And God said, oh, is that you? I didn't recognise you. Was God Scottish? I know. It's a joke. Read the room. I know. Oh, I didn't recognise you. Anyway, it's just a little play on words. I thought it was rather amusing in a quaint, kind of strange little way. Now, what was Mother one? Oh yes, this is one I've told you before. The teacher is in a classroom. She's speaking to 5-year-old children. And she's trying to get all deep and meaningful regarding God and heaven above. And she asked the children, if God was to walk in here right this minute, what would you say to God? And a little 5-year-old girl puts her hand up. And she says, yes, Jeannie. Yes, Jeannie. What would you say to God if he walked in here this minute? So little 5-year-old Jeannie said, I would just pick up this Bible that's sitting here and I would hand it to him, to God, and I would say, God, this is your life. This is the one I know they were saying to me, I loved that one. So whether you can laugh again. You can laugh more than once. Now, this is their fault. This is the second one they asked me to do again. I know, it's not my fault. Norma Smith, a little old lady, phones St. Joseph's Hospital. Oh, I remember this. Oh, if you're a new listener, I don't. I've never heard this before. Shush till I hear what she's going to say. Okay, thank you. Norma Smith, a little old lady, phones St. Joseph's Hospital. And the person at the desk answered the phone and said, good afternoon, St. Joseph Hospital. How can I help you? And the little quaint old lady said, I would like to inquire, please, how is Norma Smith in room 304? So the person on the phone said, oh, hold on a second and I shall check. And she returned and she said, I'm pleased to tell you that I've spoken to the doctor and the doctor has said that Norma will be getting home tomorrow. Everything's fine. Her tests have returned. Everything's clear and she will be getting home tomorrow. And the little lady said, well, thanking you very much. That's a relief. And the lady said, oh, before you go, are you Norma Smith's sister? Are you Norma? I have my voice, I have no idea. Are you Norma Smith's sister by any chance? And the lady said, no, I am Norma Smith in room 304, but no one tells me anything in here. Did you like that? I thought that was actually quite funny. I thought it was quite amusing. That's all I've got. You know, I'm only human. I just give you those jokes. Now, the reason I was saying, like mistaken identity, the woman who God, that was mistaken identity, didn't recognise her anymore with her face and her hair and everything was done. Oh, I didn't know it was you, Mary, whatever your name was, I know. And then the other one, that was mistaken identity. She's asking about herself, and she thought it was herself. Now, my point being, I'm going into my life lesson. Do you like the casual way I'm going from my joke along here swiftly? Now, this is where it gets serious. When you look in the mirror, I've said this before. When you look in the mirror, the person looking back at you is who you're telling yourself you are. Now, this is very, very important. This is why I stress this from time to time. If I was looking at you, no doubt I would see a completely different person to the one that you're looking at in the mirror, depending on experiences in your life, depending what challenges you faced, depending on your self-talk, who you're telling yourself you are, if you're kind of downplaying it all the time, if you have negative thoughts, you look in the mirror and reflected back at you as a person that you're telling yourself you are. So even if other people stand beside you and tell you a completely different image of yourself, you would think they're just saying that to cheer me up, they're just saying that to be complimentary, etc., etc. You would not believe a word. No, you won't, because when you're looking in the mirror, why would you? Because when you're looking in the mirror, that's not the person you're seeing. So you would obviously think, well, they're just saying that, trying to be nice, trying to be kind. No, it's reality. What we see is not the thoughts in your mind. Now, this is me going back to influencers. If you look at younger people, even middle-aged, even nearly 30, like myself, you know what I mean? Harry, I know. If you look at people of all different ages, we are potentially getting influenced from social media, anything. Do you ever see anyone on social media, like even especially if you're younger, do you ever see anyone putting anything on social media on their posts, regarding anything maybe miserable in their life or having a down day? No. Everything is just perfect. And you wonder, where are these people? Because you don't meet them on Earth. Because on Earth, people have issues, people have problems, people are, as I said earlier, confidence issues. No, you look online, everything you're led to believe, everyone's life is perfect. Totally. But if you know most of the people, and that's not to knock people, but you know what I mean, Harry? That's not the way people are. We're all human beings. We're all a work in progress. We can have a great day one day. We can have a great week. Then suddenly the curveball comes and you'll have a challenge. Now, people on social media are no different to you or I. They will have kind of challenges to face. They will have down days, but that is never ever apparent. If you look at their posts, they seem to be the lucky ones who have, the challenges. They laugh in the face of challenges. Nothing. They are just perfect in every single way. Everyone around them is perfect. Everything. Now, the point I'm making is, if you, no matter what age you are, if you're looking at that and thinking it's reality, well, you would feel quite miserable, wouldn't you? You'd be thinking, look at me. Why have I got challenges? Why have I got this? Why have I got, whatever it is that's going on in your life. They do as well. It's just that they don't say it. They just kind of use a polished look. Everything is polished. Everything is perfect. Nothing to see here. Do you know what I mean, Harry? I know. I'm going to get rid of that next week. It's nearly April. I can't bring that into April. I cannot bring it with me. My point being, many people, and not just younger people, middle-aged people and older people, they, without realising it, they're taking all this in even consciously or subconsciously. If you spend a lot of time on social media, you will start to think other people's lives are perfect. Normally you would think, don't be ridiculous. I'm detached. I know that that's just so. It's amazing though, if you keep flicking and flicking through the pages, through the stories, scrolling. You wonder why so many people look in the mirror and they don't like what they see. Because they're looking at everyone else and thinking, well, look at me compared to them. No, it's because this is just a false image that people are putting into the world, that their life is perfect. They probably just post things like, this is me on holiday, this is me here, look at me there. If you look at most people when they post anything, it's like, this is where I am on holiday, this is us out eating. So the focus is all on, look at this, we're having a wonderful time, look at us on holiday. And that's the image that they want to portray on social media. The everyday stuff is nowhere to be seen. And people need to remember this. That's not life. We're on planet Earth. We're all a work in progress. Each and every one of us will face challenges. So the downside and the danger of this is, if people are following influencers, but you'll never ever reach that level of perfection, because it doesn't exist. It's a false image. And if you're following a false image into the future, you will never, ever be happy. Well, if I was looking at other people and I thought they were all perfect, everything in their life is glowing and perfect, you start to feel kind of inadequate, wouldn't you? But that's not life. You need to remind yourself that whoever you're following or whatever you're doing, personal development, personal growth, I keep saying this is why you're on Earth. All the material stuff and the image that people try and make out that they are, that they try and make their house, they try and everything from their life to their whole image, everything. You look at what they post, you look at everything, their home life, everything is perfection. They must be from space, because human beings are not like that on Earth. So if people were maybe, I would just say, you know me, I say it as it is. If people were a bit more honest, a bit more real, and let the facade go, show the real you, show the person who you really are, and help other people. I know it sounds a bit like something of an old fairy tale book. It shouldn't be, though. Social media is telling you what to think. People are believing it without even realising they're believing it. And it's depressing, for want of another word, depressing people of all different ages because they're thinking their life is unattainable. Of course it's unattainable because they don't have it either. It's all gloss and it's all polish, and it's false the majority of the time. As I said, you will see them standing outside big mansion homes. You will see them standing out, on some exotic holidays. You will see all of that stuff. You will see them out at restaurants. Those are the pictures that they will have on there. Do you think that's the way they are every day of their lives? No, it's not. No, it's not. Now, this is the whole thing I wanted to make. Be careful who you're following, because if you hold anyone in your life up as an idol, whether it's, anyone, an actor, an actress, a singer, anyone, if they're suddenly your perfection and that's what you're aiming at, you're not going to be very happy, in my opinion, in your life. Because, as I said, people show what they want you to see and what they want you to believe. To me, that's a complete waste of time. I keep saying we're on earth for a limited period of time. We don't know the day. We don't look at that woman. She didn't know the day she was hit by an ambulance. She said, God, you told me 20 years left. Didn't recognise you with your face done. Anyway, that's my point. If you spend your life staring and looking in the wrong direction and you're just staring at some idol that you're thinking is like a singer, a model, an actor, an actress, whoever it is in the celebrity world, and you are holding them up as perfection. You in your normal senses, you probably think, well, no, hardly. I wouldn't do that. It would surprise you how many people are doing that. How many people will continue doing that? And I'm not even just speaking about younger. I'm talking about all different ages because they're scrolling. And the more that you read in social media, the more that you pay attention to whatever it is that you're looking at, it becomes reality in your mind. It just slowly absorbs until eventually your life will no longer be causing you any happiness because you'll be thinking, why have I got this? Why am I here when other people have this, this and this? They won't. They're showing you what they want you to think. There is no happiness long term in the material world. I'm not doing that song again. But there's short term happiness. That's not why we're here on earth. We're here for our mind, our body, our spirit, to get ourselves sorted, not to live a lie, not to let the world look at us and see a false face, not to put this out there and not be true to yourself, not to be scared to say anything and people don't like it. If people don't like it, I'm not talking about being offensive. I'm speaking about just giving your opinion in the hope of it helping people. Do you know, if I had even kind of gone that path of, better not say anything again, you don't know I don't actually care what people think. I think if you're listening, it's something that you're finding useful, or even if it's just the entertainment fact. Why entertainment fact? I know, it's charming, isn't it? Charming, you give everything on here. I give everything on here. I know. They don't even think I'm funny. They do think you're funny. Do they? Who are you talking to? I have no idea. My point being, I'm hoping we're going into April. I can't believe March is gone already. Gone. How do you spell chuch? Gone. Make April the time that you start to focus on the things that are important in your life. When the times come, it is shallow focusing on all the kind of the material stuff, following kind of whoever idols and stuff, looking through meaningless hours and hours and hours of social media. Just focus all of your time on my channel. That's it. Any spare time you have, you can listen to my channel, tell your friends, tell your colleagues. But a serious thing, this is the thing, mistaken identity. Back to when you look in the mirror, that's a case of mistaken identity as well. Because a lot of the time when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing the true you. You're seeing the person reflected back on you. That's what I keep saying. Be careful of your thoughts. Because whatever thoughts have gathered in your mind is the person. And if they're not great, if they're negative, you look at, how can you see anything positive in a mirror if the thoughts in your mind have always been negative and put downs? No, because when you look in the mirror, you will find every single fault that you can find, and you could spend every penny you have from now until the end of time to do whatever it is that you're thinking your face needs, or whatever part of you that you're thinking needs addressed. You could spend every single penny you've got in the bank, and the sad thing is, it will make no difference because you're still looking through the same eyes into the mirror, and you will still finding something else. So you do all that, you do that up, and unless you renew your thoughts in your mind, spend every penny doing whatever it is that you feel needs fixed. As I said, it's not easy to say on a Friday evening. And the sad thing is, it won't do anything because the thoughts in your mind are overriding it all. So you could spend the money, do it up, and then you'll have negative thoughts, look in the mirror, what's looking back at you? That same, whatever it was that was bothering you at the beginning. Now your eyes will divert and it'll be some other part of your face. It'll be some other part of something. It'll be something else. You'll find a fault somewhere. You'll divert it somewhere else. So you could keep spend and spend and spend and spend. You'll look through the eyes, but your mind is full of negativity. So you'll still see faults, issues that nobody else is seeing when they look at you because we don't have those thoughts in our mind. So if you don't think it's important to sort your mind out, the thoughts in your mind is what's causing you looking in the mirror to see what you're seeing. So this is my point. If we don't sort out our thoughts and what's going on in our mind, if you're whatever age you are now and you're still carrying negativity, stuff from the past, pointing backwards, it's your fault. I remember in 1986, it was about 5 o'clock. Now, you may laugh at that. There are people in this world who'll hold on to stuff from 5 years ago, 10 years, 20, 30, 40. And you're thinking, when you look in the mirror, that your mind, back to the word, has not been influenced by your past. That's the best influencer that you have. The influencer that you need to worry about is the one that you're carrying in your mind every single day from your past. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40. Bitterness, anger, resentment, suppressed anger. Some people not even suppressing their anger, it's just anger. And if you're going through your life with a mind full of anger, resentment, bitterness, and that's all in your mind, doesn't matter what you buy, doesn't matter what you do, your mind has been influenced by your own thoughts, by your own... So it doesn't matter who your influencer is. The biggest influencer in your life and your world is chatting to you in your mind every single day of your life. The self-critic, the self-talk, that's what you need to sort out, I suggest kindly. Watch and be careful where you're putting your focus. Remember, this is a spiritual channel. Watch who you're following. Who is your follower? Who's this idol that you're following? Who is this perfection that you think that you're following? Just remind yourself why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing. Get your mind sorted until you get your thoughts in your mind sorted. Every time you look in the mirror, every time you open your mouth, you're talking from the past, you're talking from bitterness, you're carrying anger. If you're carrying anger in your spirit and your soul for weeks and months and years and you're not letting that go, and if you don't think that that's going to affect your health, what can I say? Mind, body, spirit. Thank you very much. It's a Friday evening, about 22 minutes. I told myself I'll not go over 25. I know. I've been sneakily getting up to 30 odd. I hope you enjoyed the jokes. I hope you laughed. A couple of people have wanted those other jokes. Maybe you didn't hear them before, but you're allowed to let your face laugh more than once. You may let your face laugh twice. Thank you. And please take it on board, because followers and influencers, be very, very careful who you are following, and be very, very careful who you are allowing to influence your mind. You may think it's trivial, you may think it's nothing, you may think it's just something very small in your life. A lot of people, do you think people think anything else? No, they don't. Most people think it's just taking up 5 minutes of time, just looking here, very casual. No. If you stop and think, the influence that other people have in your mind can chip your confidence, can chip your self-esteem, can make you think that you're living everybody else is having a great time, everybody this. People just put out in the world what they want you to believe. I'll leave you with this thought. Until you then sort out the negative thoughts in your mind and the self-chatter. You're not going to see anything else different in the world. You can spend every penny you have. You can do whatever it is. But you're going to be looking through those eyes into the mirror, and you will still find each and every fault that you believe you have within yourself. So the money you spend is nothing. The houses you gather is nothing. Wherever you are, the holidays will be nothing. This is all a facade. And this is a spiritual path. You've got to be true to yourself. True to yourself. And if you just have to start all over again, be true to yourself, let all the other stuff go, the negativity, the stress, all of that stuff go. You look in the mirror, you look through different eyes, and you see the world as a different place. Thanking you for listening. Could you tell your friends, please? Could you tell your colleagues? Could you pass this on? Yes, my spiritual channel. I'm a spiritual teacher. Nearly stuttered over that. I'm a spiritual teacher. I am. And I really hope you use this and take it into action. If you don't take the action, you're not going to gain anything. And you'll still be sitting in the same position this time next year. Thank you. Look after each other. I'll be back on Monday, no doubt. Have a good weekend. I don't think the weather's that great here, but never mind. We will make the most of it. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.